Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, 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 oh. Yeah, yeah. Let's tweet the stream. D&D Live. Where the shadows meet. Episode number 3. Q all. D&D Live. We're doing it. We're doing it. Hey, Savvy, how you doing? Welcome in, gamer. How are you, man? Dude, yeah, we're playing some Dungeons & Dragons. We're getting everybody in, and we're slowly creeping together. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's good to have you. Hey, AJ, how's it going, man? Welcome in, my dude. I've got some special stuff happening today. We're playing Dungeons & Dragons live. So that's going to be a good time. Let's point you over this way. I'm so tired. Oh, Coco Pelli. Oh, no. Oh, no, Coco Pelli. I'll wake you up. Let's do this. There we are. I got some books on the side that I'm going to be working on. Oh, it's you again. My supple seeing things are ready to close. Oh, God. I'm happy you're alive and kicking, and you're a good sport, man. I appreciate it. God dang it. Exit, look at her. There she is. My goodness. Welcome in, gamer. Hey, guys, read the tweet. What? Oh, Soapy Skies, wow, you didn't have to do that. Thank you. That really means a lot. Thank you so much for subscribing. You're very kind. Thank you, Soft Poke with the sleigh. I appreciate it. How's everybody doing, man? Soapy_Skies. God dang. Soapy Skies, thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so we're playing Dungeons & Dragons today, so I will probably not be communicating too much in stream, just because I'm going to be talking to my beautiful players in here. It's been a minute since we've been able to play, so we're really looking forward to jumping in and doing it again. Hello, Noro. But if you can retweet the stream, that would be fantastic. I would really appreciate it.
Slay Sister.
We're definitely turn that off. Buckwild Monk, welcome in, my dude. Tizzy, been a while. Finally catch one of your streams. Dude, thank you so much for coming along. Oh my gosh, yes, Slay Sister. You're the apple of my supple seeing things. My God, we're never calling them eyes again. We're saying supple seeing things. Well, Buckwild Monk, dude, welcome in, gamer. How you doing, man? It has been a minute, but that's okay. We're happy you're here, dude. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nothing much, just waiting for something is for someone important. Oh my gosh. Yeah, mug. Ya mug. Gotta support the fave, Soapy Skies. Thank you so much. You're a gamer, dude. We appreciate you. Yeah, guys, I'm very excited for today. Pretty good. I've been working. Dude, I feel that on like a spiritual level. I've been streaming a lot more recently, so you might be able to catch me more often. I'm pretty delirium with how sleepy I am. Apparently all I got was a G Markiplier. Listen, you. Good, let the marbles go, Coco Pelli. Let them go. Let them fly forward. Oh my goodness. Good gosh. Thank you, Exit. I appreciate that. Perfect. We can oh, perfect. Exit. Thank you. We can add that in if you want to work with Softpoke and maybe just copy and pasting that in or trying to figure that out. Or if not, we can do it real quick live. Who cares? Welcome in. Appreciate all of y'all for coming out. Changing my name forever. Soapy_Skies is the full name. And never Soapy Skies. Welcome in, gamers. Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for today's session because it could go one of either. It could go like 3 different ways. I've got at least 2 of those planned out. If they go the third route, I will be very surprised. But there's a lot of options. They could do anything, but who knows? Don't jail me for the truth. Oh, no. Hey, what's going on, Tutor P? Welcome in, gamer. How you doing, buddy? Let's go the third route. Coco Pelli, you're dead to me. No, I was kidding. Good stuff, man. I'm excited. I hope you guys are as well. I love and appreciate all of you. This is now going to be the tail end. This is going to be the end of me talking directly to chat. The chat is not going to be on. Let me make sure that's not. Neither are any alerts. as much as I love all of you, if you subscribe, I love and appreciate you so much. But I want to put magic into this stream. So let's jump into and talk to let's talk to the gamers, man. Let's talk to everybody and say hello. Hello.
He's gonna talk to us.
Hello.
Don't be nervous, please. How's everyone doing?
Terrified.
Yeah.
Don't be terrified.
I'm
I'm just-
find out what the third route is.
Yeah, the third route.
Mess with you.
Literally.
Mad.
Oh, it would take a lot to like make me angry. You're totally fine. Okay, so let's get started. Who wants to give like a recap of what they remember, and we'll kind of fill the details in together. Volunteers? Noro, go ahead. Just kidding.
We were transported to a world, and then we killed some Muppets. Killed a guy named Larry or something. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. And then
Pickles, but you're close.
Oh, Cucumber. I remember that guy.
Larry the cucumber.
Who knows?
All I remember is that you killed our friend.
I killed your friend.
You
Whoa,
killed our
whoa,
friend.
whoa, whoa, whoa. Can I get some backup here? Noro, thoughts? Huh? She's like, I don't know where I am.
We went to a world, and then we also, and then we leveled up.
Perfect. Yeah, you all leveled up to level 2 right now. The last you left off, you as you were leaving this pocket dimension inside of the bag of holding, Q, you saw this streak of white and gray, this monstrosity, a demon of sorts with spikes and spines all over it, basically flying right over you. You were able to stab it just barely right in its ankle, and you heard a shrieking as it just burst through this portal, and it bursts into the real world. And the last place you all saw it was a trail of blood leading up to your room, Gesso, as the windows are blasted open, this creature busting through, leaving wear and tear and blood and splintered wood pretty much everywhere.
Who's gonna clean that up?
Yeah, so let's get started. So the 4 cheeses, what would you all like to do?
Yep, that's her name.
I love and hate you so much for that.
I love it.
Remy. That.
It is the best.
Well, what should we do? Should we?
Yeah, so you guys are currently inside of the room itself, this little hodgepodge that we made. The window is blasted out, and you're all in there currently just trying to get your sea legs and figure out what to do. There is a Muppet right here that one of you recovered. I think it was Softpoke, or it was Remy that got it, correct?
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, yes. Confidently.
Yes. Perfect. So you're in your room. What would you like to do?
It's like eve. It's like afternoon, right? I don't remember.
That's a good question. Right now, by the time you've made it out of this portal, it would be about like late in the day. It's like almost at that twilight hour, no pun intended, where it's like it's getting darker and it's like close to the end of the day. I would say it's probably about like 3:30, 4:30ish, somewhere in there.
Well, gang, do you want to go chase after that?
My friend is dead.
Well, we can pay a wizard to bring it back, but let's worry about the constant threat right now and not a... What do they call themselves? A Muppet? Whatever.
As a side note, they never call themselves Muppets, but you're more than welcome to call them that.
We'll get a wizard to cast the awaken spell on it, but let's just chase this thing before it kills the king or something.
Okay.
Oh, Gesso, you're looking around. You're having a visceral moment. You don't remember anything besides traveling through this portal and then making it up here. Your mind is a little fuzzy right now. Gesso, make a history check for me. So you're gonna click on your character sheet. There you go. Yeah, you don't remember Jack. I mean, you got sucked in to that portal, and you're just now kind of coming to. So you don't remember anything.
I'm very confused. But I will start cleaning my room without Question.
Yeah. So as you're in the room, everybody make an investigation check since you're all in this cramped room and you're able to kind of. You're very close in. Q goes blind.
There's a puppet right there.
There's a puppet. Look at that guy.
It's a puppet. Ooh, 14
I'm just
to...
Jacking pointing at it.
Jessa, go ahead and roll a investigation check for me. A 1. Oh my god.
We're high rollers today.
You guys, you're feeling a little troubled by the events. Your Muppet's dead. The room's exploded. Even at a base level, you see that the window is blasted out. There's glass shattering outwards towards the street. There's a trail of blood. And Jesso, you especially, you see that a lot of blood has gotten over most of your commission work. Yeah, it's not good. So like everything on the walls has like splatters of blood. There's even some pieces where it's like you at one point you went outside the mountains and you did a portrait, like a very distinct descriptive drawing of the Sharpwood Mountains for a customer. You don't know who they are because you get all your work through Leroy. Mm-hmm. But there's now blood splattered all over it. You look at, there's a wolf for an insignia that maybe a royal wanted with a little bit of pixie dust on it, completely ruined with blood. It's a lot of your supplies that weren't on you have kind of been tainted with this demonic blood. So you guys want to try and clean it up and stuff like that?
I guess we have to.
Okay.
Clean my tears.
Kind of live here-ish.
You do. You actually, as with the investigation check, Eltran, you hear out the window a little. You hear some commotion, like people murmuring and just like the general noise of a public, if you will, more so than you're used to in this area at this time.
I walk up to the window and I'm like, I hear something. I can't look out.
Oh, you're too small. Oh no.
I pick him up.
Oh, that's adorable. As you both look out the window, you see, bloop. You see a town square full of people and dead bodies.
Blood.
So down here where the trail of blood is, this is where that's where your window is, and it's blasted open, and it kind of leads down. But you see a bunch of people surrounding one distinct figure. Most notably, you know this individual as Frederick, the High Royal Guard that has been in communications with you. They're surrounding her, and there's this one central figure, and they're just kind of talking right now. It looks like things have calmed down pretty distinctly for the most part. And you see this looking out your window.
Eltran's gonna take his staff and like move it out the window to see if like the spell is still there that's keeping them inside.
That is a great. Okay, you move your staff and you're moving it carefully because you remember this is like, you know, the Rottweiler running up against the electric fence, and you're like, okay, we don't want any of that again. So you push through and it goes through just fine. You feel the cold, brisk air kind of pinching at your skin, all of you except for Jesso. You're used to this. This is like this is just another day for you. But yeah, it looks like you're free to move outside the Lucky Pony if you really wanted to.
Okay, guys, we could move outside. Something seems to be happening down the street.
Yeah, was there like a parade or something that happened?
Yeah,
I wanted to go, but people seemed excited about something. But then when we tried to leave, the magical force showed up.
Well, that magical force is gone, so we can make our way outside.
Remy, what do you
want to slide down and follow the? So we see the blood trail, right?
You do, yeah. You see this very distinct, very like, and it's not like any blood you've seen. Blood it's very runny and it's thick. This almost looks grimy, where it's like there's some kind of like soot or some kind of like grainy material in the blood itself. Yeah. It's nasty.
You want to follow that? I'm assuming that's where the monster went.
It's up to you guys. What do you want to do?
I'm asking the party.
Go on, yeah.
I'm looking at the party as well.
We shall go out. Yes.
We're going out.
Me and Jesso are gonna go, and anyone else wants to can follow. Should we bring our characters out? Or...
Oh, so did you guys want to climb out Out the window?
I'll go downstairs.
We're going
Yeah.
downstairs. I don't think
I
we're
use
dropping down
the
onto
front
the
door.
street.
You can do whatever you want. It's
high
totally up to you.
How high is
Eltran
this?
swan dives off the balustrade.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna get
Okay,
hurt.
so the question:
Yeah.
how the tip of it, like the times I've walked in,
Yeah.
how high up is the end of the roof?
It's a pretty steep staircase going up to Jesso's room. If you were to just kind of eyeball it, you're probably like 20 feet off the ground if you jumped onto this kind of like this basically like this rooftop awning. You're about 20 feet off the ground.
Oh yes,
I
10
want to do a
times my
funny,
height.
but I'll probably die.
You could certainly try.
You can do
I
it.
try to like,
You can
I
look
try to,
cool.
like, I kind of like climb out, and then I try to like
Okay.
when I get to the end, I kind of like try to grab onto. I try to like safely get down.
Okay, yeah. If you want to try that, go ahead and bring your character onto the field for me.
I swear.
Please be
this
the
is
map. Please be the map. Hey, darn it.
Cool normal size.
Jesso, you mentioned that you wanted to go down the stairs, or I know it's kind of in the mix. So what did you want to
Yes.
do? Okay, so you walk down the stairs like normal.
I haven't been put down, so I'm also going with Jessa.
You're technically being carried by Jesso. Yes, technically. Remy, what would you like to do besides mourn the loss of Whooper?
Well, I'm going to continue to mourn the loss of my friend. And I'm gonna take what's left of him and shove him under the bed gently.
Okay.
And I'm gonna walk down the stairs.
Perfect. So just Q is on the roof. So both of you bring, all three of you bring your character tokens onto the field right around here for me. Hey, there we go. I'll rearrange you all accordingly. Perfect. So Q, as you step out onto this rooftop terracotta type awning, if you will, make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Oh, I'm scared.
Hey, you're fine. Oh my god. You step out and you immediately see the black ice that is occupying this terracotta pipe, and you're thinking to yourself, "Oh, buddy, I almost got hurt big time." But you
So
steady
it's
yourself.
It's like snowing or whatever.
It's not snowing, but you know how like black ice, it's very easy to miss, and you're like, if you're not careful, you can slip and kind of eat a big old bag of garbage. That's kind of what you were dealing with at that moment. Noro's like, "Oh, I know."
I kind of like cautiously.
Yes.
Go.
Yeah. No, you're good with that 20. You can walk all over that terracotta awning, no problem.
So from the tipping point, you said still about 20 feet.
Yeah, it's about a 20-foot drop. The staircases are kind of steep, and the ceilings are high in this tavern.
Are you gonna go?
I'm too deep in.
Do it. You don't have to. You can do whatever you want. I will say from up at this height, you can see the distinct, especially UQ. I would say that Remy, Jesso, and Eltran, especially Eltran, he doesn't know what's going on.
I can't.
it's I love that. Q or Jesso, you can see over everybody as well. You're able to look and see, and you see this very distinct, heavily bundled woman with long black hair amongst all these men guarding her, and she looks rather relaxed, but a little concerned, like she's a little bit out of her element for the most part. Very gentle looking woman, very, very, very pretty woman. And Q, you notice the exact same thing. I want you to also make a perception check at advantage. Yeah, 21. You notice that some of the place is scattered and littered with bodies. Absolute carnage happened as the townsfolk, as well as the four main guards that are protecting this seemingly important woman, have all banded together to basically eliminate this army that came to do something. But you notice that there's still a few in the crowd, or there's a few that are just, they don't seem right. They look like people that would belong to the village, but there's quite a few hooded figures that are a little disturbing from a distance.
What vibe am I getting from this guy?
Oh, from that guy? It looks like it's just like an onlooker who's just looking around the corner through the basically the alleyway, just seeing what's happening. Just from like your initial instinct, it doesn't seem like they're doing anything suspicious.
I was just concerned because it's a fire thing.
Oh yeah, so he's like one of the adventurers that kind of helped out with killing a lot of these a lot of these creatures.
I kind of just sit there and regret my life choices.
Okay. Like you do.
Okay, I have a...
Where did you go? You hear a...
I say, okay. I can't chicken out. And then I just try to, I just try to safely jump down. That's all I can really safely get down.
Oh, you want to take a hop? All right, make an athletics check for me.
Acrobatics.
Acrobatics, sorry, that's right. I think he's athletic. I think she's athletic.
Acrobatics?
Yeah, we'll do acrobatics. Hey! You can thank Coco Pelli for that. No, I'm just kidding. No.
Absolutely. I mean,
worse if I did athletics.
You jump down and you feel like, oh, I'm in a good spot. But then you don't land with both feet, and you land with like just one foot, and it like kind of rolls your ankle a little bit. You know that feeling? It hurts a lot. You take 4 points of damage as you roll your ankle. You can walk. You're totally fine in that regard, but that hurt. You're looking around and you're really glad nobody saw that.
Hey Billy, that hurt.
Perfect. So you're now down in the alleyway.
I don't have anything to heal myself.
Oh no! Gotta find Eltran. Do it. You do notice now that you're there, you see the manhole cover behind you, completely removed, with these deep slashing claw marks that go deep into the stone, kind of cobblestone area that occupies the Cedar Shell district. For Gesso, Eltran, and Remy, you guys hear the murmurings of the crowd as they're like, oh, the princess, she's here. Oh, I can't believe she's come back already. And like they're murmuring amongst themselves, talking about this princess that's been that essentially was attacked.
Ugh.
Wait, there was a princess who was attacked?
Yeah, that's what you're hearing from like the people around you. Gesso, you see like dead bodies scattered all around, as people are just kind of like just now coming towards the tail end of this assault.
Mm.
And in the middle of it, you hear a gentleman that you're all very familiar with by the name of Frederick. People, the damage is done. It is fine. The Princess Hana is safe. We will not allow her to get hurt any longer. Thank you for your help. The crowd starts to go, yeah! You hear Eltran, you hear this person right in front of you say, Princess Hana, she's just too valuable for this area. She grew up here. She's a precious diamond in the rough, I tell you.
Oh, and just like they're not very smart. They're like, okay,
all right. So what would you guys like to do? You're down amongst the crowd. Q took a different route, and you're amongst the crowd, and you hear these announcements, and you see these bodies. What would y'all like to do? Give you some agency.
Oh, I have free will.
Yeah, you could do whatever you want. You can start doing backflips. Runs through the crowds. What would y'all like to do, gamers? In the distance, Gesso, because you're tall enough, you see them kind of shuffling around, and you especially notice this woman in the middle bundling up. Like everybody else has like just like normal attire as like citizens of Wolfton. She is like Eskimo style, like her arms can't even go to her side. She's got so many layers. She does not look comfortable. She's very cold.
I'm gonna look at my two companions next to me and be like, I want to go see the princess.
Me too.
Okay, Remy, what would you like to do?
I would like to quickly search the body in
Thank
front
God.
of me for
Thank God. Oh my God, the real champion here. Go for it. Roll an investigation check for me.
I was like, she's gonna either kill someone or stick a
12.
body.
You find a jar with a green liquid in it, like a very small vial that's perfect for Remy sized. But yeah, just a little vial with like a little cork top on top of. There's a wax seal on it, as in it's not really been opened. God, immediately drinks it. Well, it was poison. I was kidding.
Is it safe to drink?
Make them. Well, I mean, do you want to open it and like smell it or something like that?
Give a whiff.
Yeah. Let's open it and smell.
Oh my God! All right, so as you kind of take your little rat teeth and and like you gnaw off the wax and you eat it because it's wax and it's delicious. And you take off the cork and the green liquid starts to undulate and move a little bit.
Ooh.
Yeah, I wanted to use that word, undulate.
What's that?
It starts to like quiver and like kind of like, have you ever seen Flubber where it's like and like kind of jumps
Oh,
around?
God.
That old movie. It moves around and it starts to kind of like. So you see it moving.
I'm gonna pour it in front of Eltran's feet.
The second you pour it on the ground, you hear a tiny freedom, and it starts to like scamper away. It's like kind of like as if a horse was galloping, but it was slime. It starts to go in the opposite direction, this way.
Just like, oh,
Oh my god.
Did you want to try and stop it, or
you
No.
certainly
you just let it
could.
go?
Yeah, I'll just let it go.
Oh, that's good. So you now have an empty vial. You notice that it didn't leave any green residue behind. Like whatever was in there was this green slime type creature. As it's running away, you can see the sunlight kind of slowly going down through like the gates, and it looks back with the sun behind its face. And if a green little slime could salute towards you, it would, as it kind of gallops away.
Can I keep the empty vial?
Oh, absolutely, it's yours.
Okay.
You put that in your that in
Yes.
your stuff.
For blood, obviously.
Oh God, what?
Don't tell them
Don't
yet.
spoil it. Perfect. Q, you're in the alleyway still. You've assessed your situation. You see to your right is another like shop and like a keep of some sort, right next to the Lucky Pony. But as Gesso, Eltran, and Remy, I believe y'all are approaching the princess, correct?
I can't see,
Yes.
so
Oh,
I'm following whoever looks like they know where they're going.
pick up Ultron.
Oh,
Power mode.
that's adorable.
you.
That's adorable. Perfect. Yeah. So Eltran, you're currently being princess carried by Gesso with a big old stick. Remy, are you following along with them?
Yes, I am.
Perfect. So
Do I
you
just
guys,
see it? Do I just see them?
yeah, you notice the stick before you notice Gesso.
It's so long.
It's massive. It is ungodly massive. It's just very, very big. So yeah, you guys start to approach, and you hear murmuring, and you actually hear this particular gentleman as you pass him, and he says, "It's the Four Cheeses. They came to help. It's the Four Cheeses." Whoever drew that, you're in so much trouble. I'm gonna put this.
It
Over,
was me. I'm
I'm
sorry.
gonna put this over there, and bam! You want to click the arrow? I'm just kidding. You're
When
not
I
in
see Gesso, I communicate. What are you doing? Playing with
trouble. Telepathically.
You're
How
approaching the
am I
princess.
supposed to do it?
Hey, stay. Hey. Hey.
Together.
So, Gesso, you hear in your mind, Q, what would you like to say to Gesso?
He goes, what are you doing? I thought the plan was to go down to check out the sewer.
But-
Or
The princess.
Oh!
you're just going to walk up to the princess and say hi.
Yes.
In that moment, Gesso, you see Leroy standing right here. He says, Gesso, come here!
Oh, okay.
Do I hear that as well?
You do, yeah, you hear that off in the distance.
God damn, I was gonna like go up and
Yeah. You push through
sprain
this,
my leg for nothing.
you
God.
push through the crowd and you hear this lady go, I think she sprained her ankle.
Shut up.
Shut up. Leroy comes up to you, Gesso, and says, I was wondering where y'all were. I didn't know there was so much blood and fighting. I thought you would come along and help us out. And Frederick looks at you, Jesso, and says, "Oh, it's good to see you finally made it out here. Is everything all right?"
What happened?
I swear it's the Grey Devils. They once again have come down and revealed themselves once more. In fact, I wanted to..." And then as he says that, the princess speaks up, and she puts her hand on his arm, and he says, "Oh, princess." And she kind of pushes him aside and steps forward, and she says, "So I understand you're the heroes of the Cedar Shell District, is that right?"
Oh my god, blushes. Sorry.
She's looking straight up at you, and she's rather short. She's tiny. To give you a description of who you're looking at, she's about 18 years old. She stands at about 5'3" with dark brown hair and pale white skin. She's always just cold, and she's bundled up, and under normal circumstances for anybody would be very warm in what she's wearing, but she just feels unbelievably cold. She's got little mittens on, and she looks very, very bundled. She's like, I understand you're the Cedar Shell District heroes. Is that correct?
Yes.
As you say that, you all kind of shuffle around, I'll say. Or Remy, what did you want to do? You're right behind Eltran. And Eltran, you're technically still in the arms of Jesso.
I'm here. Wow. She's really pretty.
She is like this is someone who's like, it's a natural beauty that is like, wow. She don't look haggard and like a mountain folk. She looks like stunning. Who is this kind of thing? And she's still addressing you and Q at the moment.
Well,
she's just sitting there staring at you. So, Frederick has told me a lot about you. I'm certainly grateful for your help. What are your names?
my name is Q.
She reaches out. She shakes your hand. Her hand is ice cold. she takes off her mitten and she holds out her hand, and she grabs your hand, and you're almost a little shocked by it, and you're like, "Oh my god!" And then you eventually are like, oh, "Okay, yeah, hey, it's nice to meet you." She's like, "It's a pleasure to meet you."
Is it like ice cold or old person cold?
It's like you didn't wear any mittens cold. It's like cold on like a blizzard day in Quebec where it's like it's freezing. That was a reference for Noro to get.
Yeah.
Like her hands are freezing.
Okay?
She goes, "Oh, it's fine. It's just I'm a naturally very cold-blooded person."
I don't think it works like that, but alright.
Everything is it's freezing. Have you seen outside? It is mountainous. It is so cold. Anyways, hi, what is your name? And she reaches down to Remy.
I'm Remy.
Oh. Well, aren't you the most dashing little thing in the world? And she's going to shake your little paw. Same situation. Her hand is so cold. It's not like one of those like welcoming like warm handshakes. It's one of those where it's like, "Oh god, this is jarringly cold." Yeah. Anything you want to say to Princess? Her name is Princess Hannah, by the way. Hannah, Hana.
I'm gonna pull out my little gum wrapper and ask her for her autograph.
No.
Oh, I haven't done that. Do you have a pen by chance?
Absolutely. I've had one since the very beginning of when we decided what we had in our pockets.
Or like a feather and quill or something. Oh, perfect. She takes the feather and she signs just an H with a snowflake next to it.
Oh,
Thank you.
Of course. She then looks at the small fellow in Jesso's massive arms and goes, "Oh, what is your name?" And she reaches her hand out.
I'm Eltran. I give a shake.
Oh, yes. And once again, you feel it is, it's cold. It's like, holy crap, I put my hand in ice cubes. Good Lord. And she said, "It is a pleasure to meet you." And
You as well.
thank you. and you, of course. I've heard so much from Leroy about you. Your name's Jesso, correct?
I can't make eye contact.
You're looking off to the side. She looks at you and says, "Oh, I understand you have quite the talent. Is that correct?"
Yes.
Yes, gulp. She's like, "Well, it is a pleasure to meet you," and she reaches out to shake your hand.
I grab her hand.
The second you grab her hand, Eltran, yeah, Jesso holds out his hand, and the second she grabs your hand, you don't feel the same cold that everybody else does, and her breath is almost taken away. She's like, "Oh," and her hand feels much more warmer than it has ever felt in her life, and she's like, "Oh," and she grabs your hand with both of her hands, and she says, "Your hands are so warm." She shakes your hand more vigorously. She's like, it is certainly a pleasure to meet you. My goodness."
Oh my god.
Do you say anything in response?
It is a pleasure to meet you too, Your Royal Highness.
Please, you can call me Hannah. It's so nice, and the handshake, it seems to be lingering just a little bit longer than everybody else's. Frederick comes and approaches and says, "Please, Princess Hannah, we must come into the Lucky Pony. There's many things we wish to discuss with these 4 heroes. Can we do that?" And she looks at him and says, yes, certainly, but I certainly would like to at least have some time to get to know them, if you will. So yes, let us go and do that. Everybody make a perception check for me.
Oh my god.
I can see ish.
Eltran in the arms of Jesso, and Jesso has never been more of a shade of some kind of like greenish red in his life. He's blushing incredibly. Hannah's still shaking his hand. And Jesso, these thoughts aren't in the Bible. You both look, and Eltran and Remy especially. Remy, you see as a figure right here starts to turn and slowly approach, a hooded figure. And Jesso, off in the distance, you see a hooded figure right here slowly approaching in the group. What would you guys like to do?
Do we all see that?
So if you rolled a 15 or higher, you would see that. Q, you see relative like rustling in the crowd, but you don't see. It's just like a normal crowd. It's not anything out of the ordinary. But Eltran and Remy do see this.
Can I insight on the one that I can see?
Absolutely.
Let me pull it back up. That's a 12.
It's hard to read. It's a hooded figure. There's a lot of hooded figures. They're trying to stay warm. It could be that. Not really sure. But they are moving towards you all. Remy, what did you want to do?
I'm gonna just take a step forward and kind of puff my arms out, make myself look kind of a little bigger, and try and block the way to the princess, just in case.
Yeah, that is okay. So you kind of puff and get in the way of whatever's approaching.
Yeah.
Can I be like, maybe we should go inside?
Oh, you say that to Frederick and Leroy?
Yeah.
Okay. Frederick looks at the princess. Princess, please let us go inside and retreat. Can we please do that? And she looks at, and she's currently still holding Jesso's hand. Nora had to step away for a second, and Jesso is still very much blushing. And it's like, oh, we could certainly do that. I can show you inside, and we can take care of that immediately. Remy, as you walk up, you see the hooded figure of a kobold, and you're staring face to face with it as you puff up, and it looks at you and says, "Get out of the way."
No.
Do I hear that?
No.
Make a perception check. You're kind of in the mix of it. Yeah, you absolutely hear that.
And who?
It's it's right here. It's right now. You can see Remy's kind of blocking the way a little bit. Remy's right in front of him, kind of puffing their chest up. But you do hear off to the side a conversation between Remy and this kobold, quite clearly actually. Remy, so you say no. make, make an intimidation check for me. Oh my god! Let me roll against this.
Oh god.
It looks at you. This kobold looks at you, and you get a better look at him, and he looks at you and says, "Are you the one they call the rat god?"
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks at you, and it's like, "My god, the Grey Devils have been looking for you."
Like looking for me how?
They, well, there's a bounty. Not in that kind of way, but to bring you into our ranks. We wish to hire and bring in the rat god. By the way, Q, you're hearing all this. Whether you want to be obvious about it or not, you're hearing this entire conversation, especially with that role you did.
I'm kind of just like waiting.
It reaches into its pocket and says, "I have business to attend to, but I would love for you to join our organization. Can I count on you in becoming a fellow of the Grey Devils?" And he hands you a necklace. And this necklace, it's like a pendant of some kind, very similar to the one you found on the kobold that was in the Lucky Pony, where they basically got murdered. I'm pretty sure, Q, if I'm not mistaken, you turned into like charcoal, didn't you?
When did I turn into charcoal?
A kobold on the Lucky Pony table. You're just like, kablamo, and it just died.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You said I misheard. I thought you said like, oh yeah, Q, you turned to charcoal, and I was like,
you're now a piece of charcoal. No. Yeah, so it's very similar. It's this symbol that looks like this demonic, like, toothy maw, just like carved into stone, and it hands it to you directly and says, "If you wish to join, find me at midnight outside of the city square."
During all this, I kind of walk up. Wait, you're the rat god? I also have a proposition. Thing is, I give like a piece of like a half piece of cheese that I had in my pocket. I'm like, this thing is, take this as an offering to join us instead of them.
Okay.
Oh, so you're gonna go with Q instead for the ooey gooey cheesy goodness?
Absolutely.
The kobold looks at you slack jawed and it's like, "Wait a second. You're denying my offer?"
Well, you didn't bring me cheese. I'm a rat.
I brought you the gift. The very gift that would define your friendship and allegiance with the Grey Devils. But I see that you may not be exactly who we hoped you were. Godspeed, Rat God. You're going to need it. It then begins to turn around and scamper off.
I was a little tempted to attack it, but I don't want to.
Well, I mean, it's totally up to you. As this one leaves, you start to see many other kobolds in the crowd that maybe you missed start to slowly filter away.
I hope that wasn't a bad decision I just made.
We'll see.
Let me guess. This is the third path.
Don't say things like that.
Guys, we dodged the third path. I was kidding. Yeah, so you scamper away. The kobold scampers away, including this one right here. It was playing dead. It gets up and starts running. People are like, oh, start to run away.
Remy, you realize that piece of cheese is no more than a yellow rock.
Oh no, the four cheeses. It makes sense. I don't know.
Remy, I just did that. No, because I was worried someone might. I was thinking they were going to kill you. I don't know how kobolds. I don't know how kobolds think, so I was just playing it safe.
I almost swallowed this rock.
Well, let's get inside with the queen before anything else happens.
Okay.
All right. You all make your way. Make my way. You make your way into into the Lucky Pony, and it's very quaint. People start to slowly filter in. Let's do that. Kablamo.
Grow like over here, or
Yeah. So you are all. I'll say you're seated around Princess Hana. Definitely seated next to the very warm figure of Princess Hana. Let me put these around here. And Eltran and Remy, you can arrange yourself however you like. Yes, that makes sense, and I love it. When Nora comes back, we'll catch her up. She did have to take a step away real quick, so it's totally fine. Things come up. As you sit down, Jesso still blushing as Princess Hana. She has taken off her jacket at this point, and she's kind of nudging up against Jesso a little bit. For those of you who don't remember, Jesso has very naturally warm skin from being accustomed to this cold environment and basically growing up around the surrounding area. And it's just kind of like an evolutionary trait of his people. And she sits down, and Frederick begins by saying, "First off, I'd like to say that it is our pleasure to thank all of you, the Four Cheeses, for your bravery in defending the orphanage, as well as the district of Cedar Shell District. We cannot thank you enough for your bravery and your valor."
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Eltran, you're so far away, you can't even see what's happening.
I might be listening, but I can't hear.
You're totally fine. You see as the dwarf over here, he looks at you. He says, "You little snack, come stand next to me."
Okay. Just like stiffly waddles over.
"It's funny you got that big staff, but you're so short."
I found it in the woods.
"Oh, that's great. I found my axe off the body of the dead people I killed."
Just like, oh my god, just super uncomfortable.
You see this very muscular, stout dwarf, right, with this massive battle axe on his back, as well as this helmet that he refuses to take off altogether. He looks at you and says, "The name's Vlad. What's your name?"
Eltran Stoutbridge.
Eltran Stoutbridge. I like the name.
Even though he's scared, he still reaches out his hand for a very shaky handshake.
He grabs your hand and pulls you into a crushing bear hug. He's happy to... I'm going to take 1 point of damage. It's like the kind of hug that a long-lost father would give to a son. "I like you, you're great." He ruffles your hair, but by ruffling your hair, it feels like you're being thrashed back and forth. It's like, oh my god, what is happening?
The worst, like, noogie possible.
Oh, it's horrible. He's like, his entire hand, his hands are massive. They grip, like, the entirety of your head. It's just like, it's pretty jostling. Frederick continues. He looks at all of you and says, "We're so grateful for your bravery and for all that you've done and for protecting this town. We had quite the engagement outside. I was surprised that I didn't see you all follow after. Where were you? We could have used your help."
About that. We were going to, but this is gonna sound fake, but like there was like this magical aura around all the doors and windows, and then we got sucked through. We got sucked through a bag of holding and had to fight these weird. I know this sounds fake.
All right.
I barely believe it.
The Princess Hana, she looks at you and she takes your hand in her hands. She's like, "Don't worry, I believe you. Please continue."
Basically, we just had to fight this guy, and then after we fought them, there was this. What did the monster look again? Was it like a hand? You said, or?
Yeah, so you note from your previous battle with Pickles, it looks like he had a magical hand that was fighting all of you. But the monster itself, as you recollect, you remember it being like this streak of white and gray, and it had bony spines and wings, and it was very disturbing. You landed a shot on it.
Basically, we had to fight, and then we chased this like bony white and gray creature, just kind of like making hand motions, kind of show the size and how wonky. And then we ran out, and then we popped back out here, and then we went upstairs, went out the window. No, I went out the window, broke my ankle or something, and then saw you, went over to you, talked to Remy, made them think a rock was cheese, and then talked to you. I went back in here.
You hear down the stairs, Eltran, as Catherine comes out. She says, Gesso, what in the hell have you done to your room? Did you break the window? Gesso looks at, oh, Gesso, you're back just in time. This is perfect timing because as you walked in, just to kind of give you a brief recap, Norl just had to step away for a second. These things happen, which is totally fine. Oh, it's okay. Don't even sweat. No, you're good. Stop it. You're fine. As you were walking in the entire way, Princess Hana was absolutely holding your hand, just because she was kind of rubbing it and giving you like an eyebrow wiggle. You're both sitting next to each other, and she's kind of leaning on you more so than you would expect, because naturally, as it was explained, Gesso has very warm skin just because of his nature of living here, and she's taking full advantage of that. But you don't feel the cold, but she definitely feels the warmth. She knows what she wants. And we were just explaining, Q had just explained that they had fought this demon of some sort and that blasted through the window. And right as that happened, Catherine came up and she's like, Gesso, did you destroy your window? What happened in your room? Explain yourself, mister. I want an explanation right now. I demand answers.
Yeah, the demon kind of like smashed through the window and then went into the sewers. I kind of forgot about that part.
Catherine goes, demon? And Leroy hears that and he walks up. He's like, what's the commotion, Catherine? What's going on? Well, Gesso let a demon out and destroyed the upstairs upstairs laboratory as well as the bedroom. Go ahead. Yeah.
We didn't let it happen, Missy.
Just so sad. Well, then what happened? Tell me. Eltran, by the way, you're being yelled at by very tall people.
Kill us and probably would have killed all of you if we didn't do something, if we didn't scare it off. So maybe just give Gesso a little break because we haven't had time to clean up yet, okay?
Eltran's too dizzy to do anything. This is true. You've got the big, like, massive hand of Vlad on your shoulder, just kind of holding you there, like a son and a father-son kind of moment. Remy cheese. Remy, you're trying to chew on that rock. You're really upset.
Yeah.
You could have joined the Grey Devils. Oh, that's another thing, Noro. Remy was approached by one of the Grey Devil members to join up, but she turned it down to stay with the Four Cheeses. Basically tricked by being given a yellow rock that she thought was cheese by Q. So now the Grey Devils are not happy. So Q, as you say this, go ahead and make a persuasion check at advantage. Your passionate speech has moved everybody. We could have had an army. Could have had a lot of things.
Oh yeah,
18. Oh, absolutely advantage. You do that, and Hannah still holding your hand. Your hands are cold now. You're like, this is uncomfortable. She looks at you and says, "I believe you." And Catherine says, "Well, that is preposterous. I've never seen that happen in this place before." And Leroy walks up to her and says, "Listen, no, they wouldn't have done this on purpose. Of course, Jesso's loyal and they're trustworthy, right, Gesso?" Princess Hana then turns back to you, Gesso. She puts her hand on your forearm and one on your hand, and she kind of pulls it and she holds it close and she looks in your eyes and says, "I can't. So, well, Frederick, they weren't here directly to protect me, but they did protect the town from something far greater. And I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much.
Wait, did you say that to me?
Oh, directly to you.
Oh,
She kind of giggles, and she then moves her hand to Remy. All of you, I appreciate your servitude and your help immensely, which is why I wanted to offer you something personally from the royal family themselves. But I wanted to discuss it with you to see if you even be interested.
I'm all ears.
Where's your small your child, Jessa? Where's your son?
oh. I reach over and pick him up.
So you reach over Vlad. Vlad's like, "Huh?" Do you like grab him by the scruff of his shirt, or like?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! You reach over. Go ahead.
You would
Vlad.
describe that I look like one of those like cats when you hold them up by the neck.
you still holding the stick, and it's still like kind of like dragging on the ground. You're like,
It's very long.
and like you're kind of looking up at Jesso. Jesso, your hand, you've scrunched up his entire, like your balled up fist is bigger than his head. Like like you're just like holding him up, and you bring him over, and you set him. We'll say you set him on the table. The stick kind of like pointing this way. And Hannah goes, "Oh, there you are!" And she touches your hand. Princess Hannah, it seems like she's very touch-based. It seems like she's very in that. She's like that kind of person, very huggy, touchy-feely kind of person. And she immediately touches Eltrin's hand. It's cold as crap. It's like, oh my god. She says, I very rarely give out distinguishing medals for the people who saved Cedar District, but I grew up here in that very orphanage that you saved. I have many memories of being in there, wishing and hoping that someone would bring me in, and that's where King Wolfden brought me in. I'm to be his heir. I'm to be his successor as the future queen of this realm. And I want you to be my distinguished protectors of the land. Is that something I can offer to you? Would you be interested in that in the slightest?
Yes.
I kind of look at the rest of the party, kind of seeing what their facial expressions are.
Eltrin's nodding. They can't say anything right now. They almost fell off the table from being too dizzy.
Remy, assuming just to see them biting a little rock. So,
I'm
Remy,
gonna bite the rock.
You're gonna bite the rock?
And just kind of, I'm gonna look at the princess.
I'm going to pause for 1 second. We got raided by Tiny Tony. I want to give proper respect to him. My God, Tiny Tony,
Oh
welcome
my gosh.
in. We are actually in the middle of a D&D session. Thank you so much for raiding us. My God, we're literally in the middle of D&D. Thank you so much, everybody. Please, 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 if you're part of my community, you've got to follow Tiny Tony. Tiny Tony is beautiful. If you're curious about the channel that this goes on, it is the sponsor of our channel today. I wasn't even looking at chat and I saw that happen. I'm like, my God! Thank you so much, Tiny Tony, for the raid. Everybody in the party, say hello to Tiny Tony.
Hi, Tony.
Hi,
Saw you
Hi.
at Comic-Con that one time and drove me back
Yes!
to my hotel.
Whoa.
Thank you all for coming along. I did not expect that in the slightest. You guys are awesome. Tiny Tony Rain, hand over your pizza. No, you can't have it.
No, he can have it. He's Tiny Tony. He deserves the pizza.
Exactly. Dude, Tiny Tony is the man. I met him at Comic-Con. He was he is hilarious, so charismatic. Guys, you are following like an awesome person. So thank you so much. We're going to jump back to the game. I apologize for not being like, it popped up on screen. We're like in the middle of a game, but I love and appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for the raid. Seriously. Cool. All right, let's warp back into the game. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Back in it. What just happened?
Man, the
Remy-
world just froze for a moment.
Yeah, everything.
Bad.
Record scratch.
So, Remy, are they just kind of like,
Yeah, Remy sits up and is still trying to bite on the rock.
Oh.
How can you be air when you're a human?
What, sweetheart? What do you mean by that?
Well, air is just in the sky.
She immediately just starts like, "Oh, you are the most precious thing in the world. What did you say your name was?"
Remy.
Remy? Oh, sweetheart, I'm the heir. H-E-I-R. The DM had to remember how to spell heir. I will be succeeding the throne to King Wolfton. I was adopted. He brought me in. He adopted me from that orphanage, and I'm so excited to protect this realm with everything I have. You are adorable, by the way.
Oh,
If a rat could blush.
Aw.
thank you.
You're standing there, and she looks back at you, Jesso, and says, "I would be honored to have you protect this realm and to protect us all from what may come our way. It sounds like you're clearly capable of doing everything in front of you and handling whatever danger might be there. Can I count on all of you to be here for me and my kingdom?"
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. And her hand is still in Jesso's hand, and she is for the first time. Princess Hana does not feel the bitter cold of the territory of Wolfrun and the city of Wolfton. She says, "That is splendid. I wish to. I can't do it yet, but I will have accommodations for you in which you can live, still in the Cedar Shell district if you like, but it will be your own house and your own home. It's a place that I could go to and reliably come to you for aid or for assistance or for some type of, well, anything for bettering of the kingdom. I can't thank you enough." You see Frederick, this man behind him, tap on Frederick's shoulder, and he starts doing sign language. And this man's like he looks like a monk. He's got like the friar tuck haircut, very bald on the top, and a hood. And he's currently doing some type of sign language to Frederick and Princess Hana, and like in the similar way of like if their mouth noise is being made, but it doesn't seem like they can talk, but they can't really hear. They can't talk, but they're signing of some kind towards Frederick. And they're like, "Yes, of course, Princess Hana. Duncan, it seems, is saying that there is much we need to be careful of in this area. The Grey Devils have been very active, and if there really is a demon that's gone inside, gone inside of the sewer system again, we must deal with that." Princess Hana looks and says, throwing gang signs, good lord. She looks at them and says, that is quite the point. Here's the thing. I would never push you in danger, and she especially squeezes your hand tight, Jesso. And I would never put you in any kind of danger. But we will assist you, and we will help you, and we will protect you in trying to keep this realm safe, especially from the Grey Devils. They are a nasty bunch. Have any of you run into them?
No.
No. You're saying no?
Yeah.
Okay. Q, what are you saying?
About that. Remember when I said about the freaking Remy with the rock that looked like cheese?
Yeah, yes, that was quite comical.
I did that so they wouldn't join the Grey Devils, since I didn't know much about them, but they just didn't seem that friendly.
My God. Wait, did they approach you? What did they say, my dear?
They approached Remy because they think she's a rat god for some reason. I don't understand it at all.
The rat. She then leans forward to you and says, "The rat god? Can you explain to me what that means?"
I don't know. People keep like asking, like I don't know where they get this idea. They keep talking about the rat god, and then at some point, someone thought Remy was the rat god. So I think she was just messing with people and saying she was, but apparently people are taking this little 4-month-old rat seriously.
Make a let me see for a second. Frederick leans in and whispers something into Princess Hana's ear. You can make a perception check if you want to try and hear it.
Heck yeah.
Oh yeah, whoever wants to try and listen. You're all close enough, especially you, Jesso. You're like, she's basically like hooked around your arm. Yeah, she's hooked her arm around you at this point. 11, 8. Eltran and Jesso, if you wanted to make a perception check, you're more than welcome to see if you can hear what Frederick has to say to Princess Hana. 12, 13. You just hear muttered whispers, but Jesso, you hear the words rat god, believer, and converted coming out of Frederick's mouth.
See.
And Princess Hana says, "Oh, I see. That is, I think Frederick may have had a run-in with the rat god. Are you the one?" And she looks at you, Remy. "Are you the one that's terrorizing the people of the Cedar Shell district?" And her eyes go a little bit colder.
I'm saving them.
Do explain, sweetheart, because we've had reports of people hearing voices and strange viscerals. I mean, why a marriage and a wedding was certainly destroyed recently because of said illusions. Pray tell how you're saving people. This is the consequences of your actions. Starts to cry.
I don't know. I'm
take your time,
simply the face of the organization, but I don't know what goes on.
Oh, okay. Certainly. Well, sweetheart, and she leans in, she says, "I need you to please tell your friend to stop terrorizing the people of my district. Can you do that for me?" Q, you hear in your mind,
Yeah.
as Princess Hana gives you a side eye, you hear in your mind, and she goes, "You're not the only one with tricks up your sleeve, my dear."
Oh.
I telepathically tell her. I was going to say a swear, but I forgot. Tizzy don't like that.
Please, no!
Holy meatballs, you have this power too?
She goes, "Darling, this is my favorite thing to do, but you must understand there are
doing this.
there are consequences for your action, so I need you to be more responsible. Can you do that for me?"
One more thing. How did you find out?
"Oh, darling, I have my ways." She gives you a wink, and a little bit of a sparkle of frost comes off her eyelash tips.
All right.
She lets go of your hand, Remy, and she, with her arm still hooked around Jesso, she puts her arm on your forearm and pats it. She says, "Well, I will get these. I will get the accommodations ready for you. I am so happy to work with all of you. Truly, I am. In the meantime, Leroy, Catherine," and they go, "Yes," and "Yes." They circle around, and they come towards here, and they both look at Princess Hana, and they're enamored. She says, "First off, it is so nice to see you again. But also, could we please accommodate the Four Cheeses for a much better housing situation? I know you don't have many rooms, but could we move them in the meantime if their room really has been destroyed?" And Leroy leans in and says, "Oh yes, oh Hannah Bear, absolutely, we'd be happy to do that." And Catherine kind of pokes him and says, "It's Princess Hannah, Leroy." And he's like, "Oh yeah, right, sorry." And apologies. And she looks at everyone and says, "Well, I think it is done. Frederick, I think we shall be escorted back to the Obsidian District, and we will be on our way. But just please know that you can trust and you can rely on me for anything. I want you to be safe, I want you to be happy, and I want you to be comfortable in your establishment. And just know that I will be looking out for the bad people in this area. I am the future queen of this land, and I will not allow anyone, and I mean anyone, to hurt them." Make a perception check.
Ooh. All the perception. Nope.
You're too enamored. Like, you're freaked out, Jesso. Okay. Remy and Eltran? 13. 8. Jesso, you immediately recognize that Princess Hana is staring right through Leroy. Everybody else kind of misses it. You notice the subtle, cold, icy glare of Princess Hana straight through Leroy. And you see a little bit of, you see like the color, you know, that micro expression someone makes when they know they're like, ooh, I'm in trouble. That's the kind of the expression that Leroy gives almost immediately. And he kind of wipes off that micro expression of dread, and he's like, "Oh, yes, we appreciate your sincerity and your welcomeness to help us in the land. We love you, Miss Hannah Bear, Princess Hannah." She's like, "I love you too, Leroy. Please be honest and kind and loving like you always have been." He's like, "Certainly. I have people at the bar. Let me. I will be back." Coming! And Catherine follows in tow. You bumbling idiot. Eventually, everybody starts to stand. Vlad stands up and gives Eltren one more little slap on the arm. "I like you, kid. I like your style. You keep it up. You ever looking for to gain some muscle, you come to me and I'll take care of you. You understand?"
Yes, sir. Give him a salute.
By the way, you see this older man standing behind all of them. He hasn't said a word the entire time. He's been politely
sign language, or
so Duncan, this one right here is the one that does sign language. This one's just standing there politely, his hands folded, and he's politely smiling. He looks like an older gentleman, and just politely watching. Vlad stands up and he looks at the guy behind him. "All right, Your Majesty, King Wolfton, let's walk along." And Vlad and the guy, and as you now know, King Wolfton himself, politely watching as Princess Hannah tries to handle the kingdom and how she will do as the future heir. They slowly walk away towards the exit. Duncan walks in tow. He looks at Princess Hannah and does sign language, and Frederick... Princess Hannah agrees, and Frederick looks at him and says, "It is getting late, and we must be on our way. So, Princess Hannah, we will be waiting for you outside. I trust that the Four Cheeses can keep you safe." And they all walk out the door, and you're all left just with Princess Hannah.
Well, you said we might be able to get housing accommodations. How long do you think that will take?
Well, we have the accommodations ready next to the church. You know, I used to live when I was an orphan. I used to stay in that church as my own private getaway, and it's exactly where my father, King Wolfton, who you just saw, it was the very place that he found me and decided that I would be his heir. We have an accommodation next to it that we're going to hopefully have ready for you soon, but it's not ready yet. It is there is quite a bit of blight down here where people leave and they come and go and buildings are worn down, but as distinguished guests, and she kind of pulls on your arm again, Jesso, and pats your shoulder, as distinguished guests and royal guards of mine, I will provide you the accommodations necessary for you to be comfortable, for you to be happy, and for you to be safe. You can be sure of that. She stands up. Do you all stay seated?
No.
I guess I kind of get up. Just kind of...
Yeah, I mean, we're following her.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
on the table, though.
Yes.
I gotta hop down.
Princess Hannah swings around, and she's still got her arm hooked around Jesso, and she starts to walk with you, kind of leading you away from the group for a second.
What?
And she says, I wish to speak with Jesso privately for just a moment, if I may.
I guess.
Give me just a moment. She shouts to the little girl over here. Says, "Run along, dear." She's like, "Yes, Hannah." You all start to slowly walk away from the group. And before I do that, Eltran, Remy, and Q, what would you guys like to do?
I'm gonna pull myself up onto this.
Kind of whisper into, I guess, kind of whisper into both of them and go, "He somehow knew about my telepathic communication and what I've said."
You have telepathic communication?
That's the correct answer. That is the correct answer.
Why not use it on you? I know
That was you last time.
I knew
That was
it.
you speaking in my head.
I may or may not have been using it to just mess with people a little bit. Did I start a cult? I don't know, but she somehow knew that I was responsible for that. I don't even know if this conversation's safe.
I
make a perception check, Q.
Uh,
Yeah, as you
Nice.
glance over your shoulder at her, she's looking at you with like a sly grin, and she gives a little wink, and she keeps walking with Q with Gesso.
definitely knows about this.
I go over here and I give Q a little bonk with my stick, just like, no, don't mess with people. That's bad.
Remy, you're watching all this go down, and you have the cheese rock still in your hand, quite disappointed. Make a perception check for me. Oh,
Yep. Mhm.
you look
Yep.
around, you're like,
Remy
I'm hungry and I'm pissed. All I had was that
Remy
wax.
finds a-
Oh,
What if he's found another cheese truck?
you look for cheese and you don't find it. All you find is more stinking rocks.
So, since you can do magic, will you do a magic show?
Who are you saying that to?
To Q.
Oh my god.
I
Well,
say,
well, Q, can you do a magic show?
give me the rock.
Okay. I give Q the
Okay,
rock.
I cast. Now it glows.
Oh, that's adorable! You watch Remy as Q does like an incantation, like a wavering of their fingers over the rock in their palm, and they touch it with their finger, and it illuminates and lights up beautifully, brilliantly.
I'm gonna
And
take it back and
now-
swallow it.
I don't know what happens.
Right as
They light up from the inside.
right as Q was going to use a mage hand to pick it up, Remy just eats it.
So all of you watch as like a light goes in her mouth, and you can see it shining through her cheeks, and you follow it as it goes down her throat and down into her stomach. And now Remy has like a Care Bear light coming out of her stomach for an hour, like a glowing. Her belly is glowing, and it shines through. It's like an Iron Man light, like literally in her clothes. I don't know the
Remy.
consequences of eating a rock, but I guess we're gonna find out.
Remy, why?
That is amazing.
You won't be able to lose me when it's dark outside.
Just hold up Remy like a lamp.
Yes, our own personal living lamp.
So yeah, you swallow
It
the
still
rock.
looks
Oh
cool.
my god, it does look awesome. You even get a remark. You get a remark from the woman as Catherine as she walks by, and she says, "My God, what have you done?"
Don't ask. It's for your own good.
For my own good. Listen, you.
You're not-
No, I was kidding.
Oh my
No,
god.
not your own good, for your own sanity.
Ha. Well, I won't ask questions. Your room is destroyed, and she walks off. Over to Gesso. Gesso, you are make a Constitution saving throw just because it's funny. You're able to hold your composure. You're nervous, and you're like, God dang, what am I doing? This is not what I expected. But you're holding it just fine. She pulls you aside. She looks at you and says, "Now tell me, my dear, how long have you been in this city?"
How long have I been in this city?
You've been in the city for about 8 months.
8 months.
Perfect. And pray tell your family.
Mm.
Have you had any contact from them recently? Have they been around? Have you seen them? This is totally up to you.
She gives me blushes. Mm.
Well,
I know this is like a sensitive topic for Jessel, so I just kind of
Yeah.
look down. I'm like,
no, that's okay.
No.
She circles around towards you and she puts her hand on either side of your arm. She's like, "Sweetheart, listen to me. I don't ask to embarrass you. I don't ask to disturb you or anything like that. But please know that family's important, but your happiness and safety is more important. Do you understand? So if
yes.
by chance they come around, just be careful, my dear. Okay?
Oh.
Can you do that for me?
I will try.
Okay. She kind of rubs your arm with her hand, and she says, "Oh, so I understand that you are quite the artist. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
You've done many, many commissions for the people of this city, if I'm not mistaken.
I have.
Who are your clients, dear?
I don't really know them. I just get them through Leroy.
I see. She kind of pats your hand with her arm hooked around your arm again, still kind of staring off towards like past this guy, just kind of being like, "Where's the treasure? I don't know what this map says." Over here through like the window, and you're seeing as people are walking by, and there's like guards outside looking at this bloody like manhole over it. She's like, "So you're an artist that is well known enough that the people of the royal house recognize you, and yet you don't know any of your clients. That's rather interesting, don't you think?" She pats your arm. Make an insight check if you can.
Yeah.
Just a general insight check.
No.
No. Roll again.
Well to do.
Roll again. That's not going to count. All right, roll again. If we get a 3, you win. You win D&D. All right. You don't totally catch on, even after you take a few seconds to kind of do the mental gymnastics of like, I don't know my clients. Why don't I know my clients? Well, I get it through Leroy. Well, Leroy, he gets me the clients. Like, I've known Leroy for 8 months now. He helps me out. He helps me with all of that. And you hear a whisper in the back of your mind, and she says, "But does he?" And you immediately recognize that it's coming from her, and she's looking at you with such compassion and an understanding that is much deeper than face value, where she is looking as if she's looking into your soul. She says out loud, "You are a wonderful person, and I want you to be happy and healthy. But more importantly, I want you to know who your friends are. Can you do that for me?
I will try.
Please, please try. Please understand what I'm trying to say. Now take care." And she walks up and gives you, not like a side hug, like a full under the arm, head up against chest hug. Like a bear hug around it. You can't reach all the way around because you're massive. And she kind of pats your back and says, "Please just know that I will be watching over you, and I will be taking care of as much as I can on the outside. Okay?" She kind of lets go, and she gives a little like she reaches up on tiptoes, and she places her hand up against your cheek and smiles. She then looks over to the rest of you, and she says, "And as for the rest of you 4 cheeses, just know that I will be keeping an eye on you. Is there anything I can do for you in the meantime?"
I guess.
Are you feeling okay, Dia? She's gonna circle around towards Eltran and look at Remy.
Oh, Remy wanted me to do. She wanted me to do a magic trick. I made a rock glow, and she ate it.
What?
She's gonna be like that for about an hour.
An hour? You ate a rock? Dear, that can't be healthy.
I can be
That's
a
right
lamp
for you.
in a castle.
You could be a lamp in the castle. I want you to be the rat god that doesn't corrupt the town. minus the lamp. Did you need that extracted? We can certainly call the surgeon.
No.
Why the... Oh. It's different.
All right.
I was wondering why Light had a save DC, then I realized I can do on...
You can do it on people?
Oh. Apparently.
That's hilarious. That is good. That's trolling at its best. You hear in the distance, Frederick comes in and says, "Princess Hana, we must be going, please. It is almost dark." She says, I'm coming. He is such a worrywart. Listen, I'm going to take care of all of you, all right? My special little group has to be careful and healthy, so just keep an eye out, because I will be keeping an ear out. And she starts to walk away, and it's majestic. When she walks, it's almost like a cooling, soothing breeze kind of blushes past all of you as she walks past, and she once again kind of pats Gesso very gently on the arm, not like a weird way, but in a very friendly and a very very friendly, loving way.
I'm going to make a wisdom check just for myself
Okay.
If I get above a 10, I have thoughts.
Okay. All right. Yeah, go for
I
it.
got a 21.
Hey! Oh, so Gesso.exe has really stopped working. For reference, Remy is about the size of like a gnome, and Eltran, which is this lightning design, is even smaller. He's a tiny little man.
Oh, I think I have the sheet right here. I think I actually put it on the sheet. We go find my height.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's like 2 foot something.
3.
As she's walking by, she does like the the thing like you slide your arm down someone's hand and then grab their hand. She grabs your hand, Gesso, and says, "Be safe and remember who your friends are." And then she walks away and she exits with Frederick off into the brisk night. She goes, "Whew," and she says, "It is awfully cold outside," and she gives Gesso a wink as she walks away. And Princess Hannah and the posse are out the door.
Well,
I have a question.
Of course, I've got an answer.
Those who have telepathy, can they read other people's minds?
You're
all
not.
I can say is
You're not
all I
sure.
can say is
Oh, Q, please, by all means, you're more than welcome to chime in.
I
Absolutely.
just want to say that I can't. That's all.
okay,
That's all I
okay.
know.
All right.
Yet I can't do it yet.
Yet. Oh God, that's ominous.
I will be soon.
I will be immortal. Remy did not eat a boulder. It's like maybe like that big. It's itty bitty.
I look if I have anything else in my pockets that's about the same size of the cheese rock.
I mean, do you have anything that might be even something you could consider like picking up, like a piece of coal, maybe?
I just take. Let's see. Is there anything small on the table? Like.
Yeah.
Going somewhere.
Make an investigation check.
Um,
Can investigate the table. Yes, Eltran.
So-
You see like a spoon and a fork. Nothing really. There's not really any food. There's not really any rocks or anything small. It's kind of cleaned up for the most part. It's towards the end of the evening.
So I just pick up the spoon and say, "Hey, Remy, look at this." I make the spoon light up, and then the rock stops glowing.
Eat the rock. Oh, the rock stops glowing in the stomach. Interesting.
Because you can only have one at a time.
Yes.
eat the spoon.
I'm like, wow, the glowing's gone. It's the glowing's here now. Do not eat this, or I will.
Eat the spoon.
Spoon.
Eat it.
Eltran, what did you want to do? You mentioned something.
Gesso sat back down right next to us. I'm going to
Gesso-
turn from the chair that I'm standing on,
Okay.
like slap my hands on them, and just be like, "You like her? You like her?"
Gesso, you as you sit down, it's like you had seen a ghost, but the ghost was hot. And you sit down.
No.
No.
You
away.
don't give me that. I know you like her.
No.
You like her.
Catherine, help.
Catherine's over here is like, sorry, dear, currently dealing with your room exploding. She's talking with this man. You need to pay for your meal. But I'm an adventurer. I want to pay an exposure. Anyways.
I druidcraft a flower, and I'm like, you should give this to her.
What does a flower look like?
It is a pretty rose, like the most perfect pink rose you could ever think of.
Oh my gosh, this gentleman and this lady across the way go, oh my God, how did you get that here?
Oh, sure.
I don't say anything. I look over and I'm like, magic.
So do you hand this rose to Gesso?
I'm like with like one. I'm like outstretched, like arm reaching out, like in Jesso's face. Just like take it. You like her. Give this. To her.
You like her, give it to her.
You got to kiss the girl.
Wait, right now? Or next time?
Next time.
Okay.
We're right now.
Just glancing across the bar, you do see Princess Hannah talking with Frederick and Duncan, as well as her father King Wolfden. Vlad is also kind of standing guard. It looks like they might be waiting for like a wagon of some sort, or like a horse and buggy to try and come up. So if you wanted to, you could do it now, but it's totally up to you.
I grab the rose and I bolt.
You bolt towards the door?
Oh, man.
Oh my gosh! All right, go ahead and move your character up towards the door. Duncan is currently talking with Frederick. I don't have a map outside of the lucky pony, so forgive me.
I'm gonna run like right here and look kind of like peering across from the counter.
Okay, make a stealth check for me.
All right.
And Remy and Q, what did y'all want to do after Gesso? When Gesso runs, it's like an earthquake is happening. Gesso is like a massive. Oh my god! Not even Remy knows where you are. You blend in with the wood perfectly. You're just like, huh!
Oh,
I walked
it
from
glitched
afar.
out.
Okay, all right. Q, you're just kind of keeping an eye out from afar. Remy, did you want to try and hide as well? You hide
Yes.
actually behind Eltren. You don't realize that Eltren is not part of the bar. And Eltren, you feel little rat paws like hanging off your shoulder. You're like, what the crap?
I look over, just like you're putting your hands on me.
Remy, you're surprised. The stool is talking to you. So Gesso, you run up to the door, and Princess Hannah's she's got her back to you, and you see she's bundled up like an Eskimo. She's very bundled up, and she's talking to her father right here, King Wolfden, and King Wolfden glances to the side, and he points. He kind of does like a head nod with like an eyebrow wiggle towards Gesso, and Princess Hannah says, "Oh yes, Gesso, my dear, what can I do for you?" She has like a knowing smile.
Red, and I can't say anything, but I gently place the flower in her hair and I run back.
In her hair?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! Okay, you take it and you slowly approach it, and as you're approaching it, make a dexterity check for me. I love it. Jesso's got a girlfriend.
No.
And she's really rich. So as you're trying to do that, she notices that your hand is shaking. As you're trying to give it to her, and like the anime watermark is like the teardrops above your head. You're like, oh God, please. And you try to put it in her hair, and she takes both of her hands. Her hands are very small compared to yours, and she takes them and bloop, she like grabs your hand and she guides your hand towards the corner of her ear, and she puts the rose in there, and she says, "This is beautiful. Thank you. Please tell Eltren thank you for me. I will see you soon. Okay?" She kind of gives you a wink. And as that happens, the carriage that she travels in, this is like an armored carriage. It is it is something that looks straight out of like siege tactics. You know what I mean? And she climbs up in it. Vlad climbs in first to make sure it's clear, with Frederick right next to her, and one of her main advisors, Duncan, sign languaging the entire time. He walks up and he goes to you, Gesso, and he shakes your hand, and he gives just like a little a friendly smile and like a squinting nod as he put his hood up. King Wolfden also walks up to you and says, "You are quite the special fellow. She doesn't come to people very often for any kind of attention." Do you say anything to that?
Make a Constitution saving throw to see if you pass out.
Yeah, you know what? Go ahead and make a Constitution saving throw. Yeah, you stay on 2 feet. You're kind of stuck, just gobsmacked. They all climb into the carriage, and as you're watching Gesso, it's the craziest thing, because as the horses start to move forward, it's almost like the carriage and the horses start to dissolve into this ethereal mist, if you will, as this carriage dissipates, and with a puff of wind and a spray of snow behind them, they are magically transported away from the area. It's beautiful to see, and the snowflakes kind of like flutter in front of you and land on your nose and your cheek, and she's gone.
Are we in the Narnia?
By magical means, it looks like they've protected the queen at all costs. and some interesting things are going down. Perfect. So do you walk back over to the group?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As you're walking, you bump into a stool.
Ooh.
Ow!
You hear a very distinct owl as the stool talks back.
I'm sorry.
And it's
Wait,
Eltrin.
what?
Wait, what?
The stool was Eltrin.
Which one was Ultron?
Yeah, you know now because he said ow because you bumped into it. You didn't. Yeah, he rolled a natural 20 for stealth. Nobody sees him.
Absolutely.
And it's crazy how you missed it because there's a giant stick sticking straight up into the air. How did it's like that it's like straight in your view and you just didn't notice it at all. It's like how did that happen?
It's like when you have your keys in your hand, you're just like, where are my keys?
Where are my keys? My glasses? I don't know where they're at. Yeah, exactly. Perfect. So yeah, go ahead.
Anna thanks you for the flower. Ooh.
Hearing that, like actual shock comes over Eltrin's face. Like, huh? How'd she know that?
Do I hear any of this?
You're kind of far away. You can come over to the group. You do see Jessa walking towards a stool. And she's now talking to the stool. Oh, that's
Why
not
are
a
you
stool. That's
talk-
Eltrin.
Did you hit your? Oh, it's Eltrin.
The perfect cover.
The perfect cover. A stick. You'll see the stick, but you won't see me.
Yeah. So you're all huddled around this bar.
What are your thoughts on her? But be warned, she can probably hear us right now.
You don't know.
That's why I said probably.
So Jess,
Well,
yeah, Jesso, what any thoughts?
I think I can guess what your thoughts on her are, Jesso.
Ugh. I just think she's nice. I don't like her. Do I? I don't know. Anyways.
This is
What do you think?
Eltrin's like pounding Jessa's legs, just like.
No.
You like her. You like her.
Someone's.
Oh, all the children.
Eltrin, when you punch Jesso's leg, it's like punching a rock because Jesso he's yoked out of his mind.
I'm not exactly like punching him, doing that like
Little nudge,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. I do the Jessuin Hannah sitting.
K-I-S-S-I-N.
Yeah, as I walk away.
You go.
Hannah walking.
I'm just saying I had some spooky vibes from her. Her hands were so cold. Just like, cause unsettling.
She's okay.
Also, would I know any of the type of, besides just it being telepathic, would I have heard any of the, heard of like different witches doing the things that she's doing?
Make a
History.
let's see. I think maybe like a history check. Yeah. Maybe you've heard of something, especially with your history. There might be something there.
Ooh.
Yeah, you've heard of beings of powerful nature who have the ability to not only read minds but also be kind of almost omnipresent in a way, where it's they can kind of at will see all almost at once, and also kind of like they have like this awareness, like it's like. Normally people they could do like one task at a time, but you've heard of beings that can do, instead of seeing their thoughts in like a cabinet, they see thoughts and events like a tree branching out. But those type of beings can see the entire tree. They're not just stuck on linear paths. And you kind of get the eye that this woman has something possibly similar to that. Something in that arena of mystic omnipresent ability, if you will.
Now the question
Yeah.
if I reveal this, she'll probably know.
Say that again. If you ever feel this, what do you mean?
If I reveal this to everyone else,
Oh,
she'll know that I'll know.
I mean, what if she already knows that you figured it out? By the way, you've been watching as Jesso's been chasing Eltran around.
No.
Just for fun.
I'm chasing Gesso around.
Oh, okay.
Do I know the
It's got to
Teasing
a point. Who's chasing who?
Do I know the name of this being, or is it just like
It's more of like a class of magic that is
Okay.
very advanced. That is like it's very rare, and you especially have run into some very crazy types of magic. So this is one that you are aware of, but it's very unusual. It once in a lifetime kind of thing.
I've heard about this type of magic, and I'm unsure if you have to be of a certain alignment to even like learn it. So I'm gonna go along with it, but I'm just going to be a little bit worrisome, and I can tell that none of you are even listening to what I'm saying.
Right now, Remy's running away from Gesso, Jesso's running away from Eltren, and now they're not really sure who's chasing who.
The triangle of chasing.
And for Gesso, this is fun because you're chasing people around. Remy, it's a little unsettling because Jesso's quick and they're giant, and they're like, I'm gonna die. They're gonna crush. I'm dead. What am I gonna do? But Gesso, this is a great game for you.
Yeah.
The woman sitting here is like, could you get off the table, please? Trying to eat my felt like a rock at the stomach.
During all this, I kind of just like, see where's an empty corner. Kind of just like, oh.
Just choke him out. Like a face hugger.
I guess I kind of like sneak back into the room hallway.
Okay, yeah. You're more than welcome to go in there.
I just want to be away from everyone else.
That's totally fine. While you do that, I wanted to jump to Gesso, Eltrin, and Remy. Gesso, you see Leroy at the countertop. He says, Gesso, come here.
Well,
And he says, "Hey, I wanted to give you your payment for the client.
oh, sure.
They loved your art. They loved the sprinkly stuff. What'd you say that was? Would you say that was the sprinkly stuff you put on there?
Oh, it was pixie dust.
Pixie dust. That's amazing. I didn't even know you had something like that. That's crazy to me."
Yeah.
Well, let me give you your payment. He pulls out a small pouch, and he places it right in front of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yes, they paid handsomely for you. Would you like to investigate the pouch of money?
Yes.
All right. You open it up and you see 20 gold pieces in there.
Hmm.
And he's like, they say they're gonna hang that up. It's gonna be there for generations upon generations. So you have made an impact. And he kind of slaps the table and looks at you with a smiling grin. In the meantime, Remy is running like a child with what do you have? A knife all over the place, with Eltran also running around, which is fantastic. It's adorable. Gesso, make an insight check for me. Roll it again. Hey! You I'm handing you this one because it's kind of like, because I want to. I'm the DM and I can. Just kidding. You see that same micro expression of subtle. It's hard to see. It's like the color leaves his face for just a second as he's looking up at you. Of dread, just a little bit of dread as he looks at you. For like barely a millisecond, as he goes back to it and he's wiping a glass down. He says, I've got another client that's lined up to hire you again for your talents. I'd love to give it to you, but this one's a hefty one. Do you think you'd be willing to do it again? Hefty. And he pulls out a wolf skin from underneath the counter, and he lays it out, and he says, "This is one of the royal guards. There, from the sounds of it, you're going to get quite familiar with them, if you will. It sounds like you're going to be leaving soon. But we can still do business. I could still provide your a studio. I could provide you a studio. You could use my a room upstairs. By all means. You've wanted that for months now. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, he wants you to recreate some of the battles that they've had outside these walls. They want this decorated and produced in a way that'll be beneficiary to them and their god post. Do you think you can do that? Do you think you'd be able to do that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is this a or is it a
Mm.
He looks at you. Let me roll against that real quick.
Let's see how he perceives it.
Oh, not well. He looks at you and he kind of squints a little bit, does like a little pull on his collar. It's like it's hard to breathe. A little bit of flop sweat. He says, hey, I think you're going to do great with this, and I'm certainly excited for our continued entrepreneurship as we work together on this. It's an honor it's an honor. So you have this wolf skin in front of you. It's like the hide of it. It doesn't have the head as well as the tail. It's mostly like the back body of it. But as you feel it, it's a very soft and very delicate skin. But on the other side, it's been treated in a way where drawings and almost like a fabric of some kind that you could draw on, like a canvas almost.
Oh.
Yeah. So it fits the bill of what you would normally use to create art with.
You okay, Leroy?
Am I okay? I'm fine. I'm fine. I must be going now. I'll check back in with you later. Make a perception check for me. Yeah, he just seems a little awkward,
Okay.
a little bit weird. He starts to scamper away,
Okay.
and putting stuff away. Catherine then walks up and she says, "All right, everybody, you don't got to go home, but you can't stay here. We're closing down shop." She's got a bell. She's ding, 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 ding. Supper's done. We're going to bed. Time for rest. Chainsaw noises.
Gotta do the thing I was gonna do.
Yes, as
Real
that's
quick.
happening, Q, you have a moment by yourself. You see a servant up there that's actually leading you away from the main room that you all stayed in, because that's currently like kind of roped off a little bit. They're kind of cleaning things up. But you do see all of your belongings, untampered, completely untampered, over in a new room that's still equally as small.
Mm.
So basically, I kind of get to a quiet place.
Yeah.
And say, I don't know the extent of your powers, but if they're as good as I think they are, I was wondering if you could help me find my, sister, if you know what I mean. Let's see how much you can really do. And that's all I say.
You say that out loud into the room,
Kinda-
or into
Just kind
your
of not
mind?
in a talking voice, but not like a loud shouting voice.
Okay. Make a perception check for me.
That's the roll of the night.
16. It is. There are a lot of perception checks that you guys have failed. No, I'm kidding. At the corner of your eye, you see movement.
I look towards it.
Tucked in the blanket is the Muppet, as its head slowly turns to you, and you hear come from its voice, "Darling, there's many things I can do. There's many powers that I have, but that is for you to discover." Softpoke is crying. From laughter, probably. For context, the group recovered a Muppet goblin that looks like a Muppet, and it's magical, so it used to be able to talk, but This is not the same voice they're used to. It used to have the voice of whoop, 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 whoop. But this is not making that noise in the slightest.
Oh, that's not what I was expecting. But hey, plot development.
Yeah. And
I forgot about you is what I just say.
this nat 20 is to fight the DM.
You'll never get Whooper back.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so you're staring at this Muppet that looks very much alive. And with that perception check, it has very similar mannerisms to someone you met previously. That being...
the way you say that makes me think, is he being like, oh, it's the queen, or is it like...
Yeah, it's a queen. Princess Hana, you recognize that somehow she's animating this, and it has its arms folded, and it's staring at you, and it kind of gives like a wink as like the fabric closes over the button eye.
Every time I think I've made progress, and then I just sit down and wait for everyone else, or...
Oh yeah, so as you're as you hear that, you hear the lumbering chunky steps of Gesso and the rat claws of Remy and the stick of Eltrin as he's clonking along, and they come towards it, and she says, "Well, I must be off." And you see you feel that same breeze that you felt when you were around Princess Hannah as the Muppet, right as the door opens, goes lifeless. Tucked into the bed, adorably, where Gesso would normally sleep. Let's move locations. We'll still use the same home screen. I'm going to have a proper room. But in the meantime, we'll have it here. Remy, you see the Muppet, and you see all your belongings. Gesso, you see your art on the wall. You see everything exactly where it is. You also see two proper bundles and beds that Remy and Eltrin don't have to share, but it's very warm. It's cushiony, very squishy, and like, oh, this is the life. This is what I want to sleep in. And Q, you as well also see a separate twin bed that you can sleep on, so you don't have to share a bed or anything like that.
I go into one of the twin beds.
Okay. Oh, are you going to sleep?
Was it not late, or is it still like...
It is pretty late. It's kind of up to you what you guys want to do towards the closing of the night. But yeah, it is late. And
especially after
what
just happened. After what happened, Q just kind of like... yeah, let's just... go to bed.
Okay. Yeah. So Q goes down and falls asleep. You look outside and this door faces this room rather. It's at the top of the stairs, and it faces towards the back of the towards the alleyway, if you will. There's a small window there. There's an alleyway behind the Lucky Pony, and it's kind of run down. It's like leaky, and kind of gross. And there's ice on the ground, and it's shadowed because not a lot of sunlight peeks through here, honestly. And just even looking down through the window, you see like the scurry of rats and like a cat occasionally. It's just like a rundown kind of dump of an area. And Q lays down to go to sleep. Gesso, Remy, and Eltran, what would y'all like to do?
Sleep.
Eltran just goes kaplunk and just immediately zonks out, goes right to bed. Remy and Gesso, what would y'all like to do?
Remy, we'll start with you.
I'll take Nooper.
Okay.
And I'll go into my little bed
Okay.
and cry.
Oh no! Q, you didn't tell him about the animated puppet or anything, did you? Q? Exy?
Well,
I was asking, did you tell them about Q being animated and like coming to life at all?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So yeah, you take it, you just kind of tuck into sleep. Gesso, you see all of your companions. It's basically a body pillow. Oh God, I'll show that in a second. Side of the slime. You see all your companions. They are, they've all gone to sleep, and they are all there. You look outside and you can see the alleyway behind you. And the lights, you could barely see this starlight and the aurora borealises and the fluttering of lights above. It's one of the main draws of the area of the city of Wolfden and the territory of Wolfrun. As you look out, you feel you can feel the cold through the window, but it doesn't bother you. Right as you're closing the blinds, you see a hooded figure in the alleyway, standing down 20 feet down below, and shuffling around the corner is the image and personage of Leroy, shuffling down closer and closer. And you watch them talking to each other. What would you like to do?
Do I know for sure that's Leroy?
Oh yeah, you see the typical. You see he's not in any kind of winter clothing. It's almost like he had just stepped out, like just now, through like a back entrance through like the kitchen. He stepped out so that he can talk to this hooded figure of sorts. And everybody else is full of memes and shoo, shoo. You're the only one awake at the moment. What would you like to do, Jesso? You look as Leroy walks up to him, and he takes off his little his beret, and he's scratching his very bald head. Leroy from up above he's a plump guy, he's kind of a little hobbling around. This person though looks massive. It is a towering individual over Leroy, similar to your height in some respects, maybe just a little bit shorter. And as you're looking, they have a black hood over them, and they hand them what looks like a scroll. They hand it to him. Make a general perception check at advantage because you've got a bird's eye view at this.
Ooh. What was it? Perception?
Yeah, perception. A lot of perception checks today. Oh, buddy. Natural 20. You look down and you see a hand that looks similar. It looks exactly like yours. It looks like, it looks like it would be your hand. Like, it's big, muscular looking. You can see the arm. There looks like there's tattoos that you immediately recognize. You recognize the stature. As they take their hood off, you see the bald figure and the muscular visage of a man, a Goliath of sorts, standing in front of Leroy. And they begin to talk. Right now, you can only see the back of their head. You can't really see what their face looks like. It's at such an angle where it's hard to notice it. So you can see them talking. You can see like the breath leaving. Like you can see the breath, kind of like you would in other colder climates. And you can see that they're saying something, but you can't really. It's hard to kind of pinpoint what they're saying. You could try to, open the window or something like that to try and figure out what they're saying, but that's up to you.
Is everyone sleeping on the bed?
Yeah, Q's sleeping on their little twin bed. Remy's bundled up in like a bunch of pillows with tears streaming down their face next to Whooper, and Eltran is he's shooing and me dreaming about Princess Hannah. Like you do. So it's just you and they.
No, I'm dreaming about leaves.
Leaves. So what would you like to do?
I'm gonna grab an extra blanket and tuck everyone in because I'm gonna open the windows and I don't want it to be cold.
Okay. So you go over to all of them and you very gently and gingerly, as big as you are, just very carefully tuck in. With Remy, you only have to use 2 fingers just to tuck around their little prone body. Same for Eltran. You're careful with Q as well as you tuck them in. And you just kind of throw some blankets on. And you wanted to crack the window open.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. You crack the window open and you hear the speaking immediately. You hear the voice of Leroy talking and says, "Eglaf, listen, I can't keep this facade up very long. I suspect that he understands what's happening." And this person says, "You'll do as I say, or you'll face the consequences. You understand? That treacherous bastard, if he wants to run away, I'm gonna get every cent that they're worth. Do you understand me?" Leroy says, "Yes, Eglaf, I will. I'm sorry. I don't wish to disappoint, but you have to know that I don't know that this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem right." Eglaf looks at him again and says, "You do as I say, or you will face the consequences. Do you understand?" Leroy, he kind of looks down, defeated, and he says, "He's a good lad. He's a good lad, and you shouldn't take advantage of him like this. It's not right. It is not right." Eglaf then balls up his fist and punches. You hear a deafening, like a slapping of muscle and flesh colliding with his face as Leroy stumbles back, slipping on the ice and tumbling down. This Goliath takes off their cloak, and you, for the first time, recognize this as Eglaf, a member of your clan that you left many, many months ago. He leans over Leroy's body and he says, "Let that be a warning for you. I get everything from him. Do you understand? He thinks he could just leave. He's got another thing coming." Leroy is quivering on the ground and says, "Yes, of course, I understand. I will do whatever you ask." He says, "I no longer want just a cut of the piece. I no longer want a cut of his earnings. I want most, if not all of it. You understand?" Leroy says, You can't do that to us. You can't do that to us. The Lucky Pony is barely staying afloat, okay? I need that money just as much as Gesso." He's like, "I don't care about your establishment. I want more. And if that cuts into you as well as Jesso's earnings, then so be it. But I will have my vengeance." He stands more full and tall, and he says, "The next time I have to warn you, the next time you skirt behind my back, I will kill you and your precious Catherine." He turns around and he scoops up his cloak, and he swings it back on his body suddenly and loops it around in one single go. Leroy sitting there with blood trickling down his nose and the swelling of his face as it looks like a black eye is beginning to form as he kind of whimpers to himself, standing up. Oh, his bones are so achy and it's cold. And he shuffles back into the Lucky Pony. And that is what you see, Gesso. And as you contemplate this, make another perception check for me. As you look down, you could have sworn you see a streak of gray right above you. Up on the rooftop above you, cascading across the night sky, the moonlight illuminating behind it, you see the visage of a bony, demonic, thin, rail-thin demon staring right at you. It's as if you had just missed it. It's one of those where it's like you knew that there was some kind of creature close by. There was somebody there that was watching, but you're just now seeing it. It stares at you and gives a as it starts to crawl down the side of the house next to you, almost as if there's nothing at this point as if there's like nothing holding on to it. Its claws gripping into the side of the wall. It scurries down past this man and cuts around the corner, seemingly into the manhole cover with a clattering of a metal cover. And that is where we will pick up our next session. Yay! Wow, we did so much today, dude. Man, that's some cool stuff, dude. I am happy. I am happy. I am happy.
Zero in animal.
So I'm guessing we were on path 1 or 2.
Let's just say I had a lot planned. This was not necessarily one of them. I had an inkling of what I wanted this to be, but you guys, some decisions you made moved it in a interesting direction, and we've accelerated the story significantly.
We will never pay attention to what you want us to do.
I had a whole nother battle map set up. I had a whole nother like
we
attack
could've fought this
scenario.
session.
You all could have died. It was a lot could have happened.
Guys, let's go down this manhole cover. And then I'm like,
Yeah, let's go fight. And I was like, no, we're going inside.
Dude, I am so excited to see where this goes. What are your thoughts about the session? What are some things that stuck out? Gesso,
the queen is scary.
The queen is scary to Q, but Gesso and Eltrin are in love with the queen.
I no, actually, sorry if you took it the wrong way. I didn't actually make it. I didn't want Eltran to like her. I was just making fun of Gesso.
Gotcha. Okay. So Eltran's hiding his love for her. No, I'm just kidding. That's me.
That's me.
Remy, what are some things that stuck out today besides becoming a lantern for a little bit?
That should be
the princess is pretty.
She is
She's
gorgeous.
pretty.
Yes. Gesso,
she's
this.
also-
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say she's also terrifying.
Oh, are you guys afraid of her? Oh
He's ice cold and it could.
She's ice cold and she knows everything we're thinking.
no! This is fair. This is a fair assumption about the queen, Princess Hana. Now, Gesso, we've been heavily focused on your character today. What are some thoughts and some things that stuck out to you? Some things you're like, ooh, I want to know about this.
Oh my god. Queen? Leroy. I was getting mad at Leroy. I'm like, this guy is sus. And I'm like, and after this, I was like, no.
Oh no!
I want to know more about Leroy and this story, this Gesso story that's going on.
Yes. There's some stuff going on with Gesso. Leroy is kind of mixed up in some bad people that seem like they know Gesso from their past or something. Interesting stuff. Well, I'm excited for our next session. I wanted to close out the stream from here. Thank you so much to Tiny Tony for the raid. Thank you so much for coming along and watching. This is a D&D stream that we bring about for the love of the game. Please subscribe to the D&D channel. It is the sponsor of all of my streams because it's my stream and my channel. And I would love and appreciate you guys if you want to subscribe if you're new, as well as follow the channel if you're new. I see all these new follows and all these new subscriptions. I appreciate it. I apologize for not being able to pay total attention to it, but just know that I love and appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much for watching, and we will be back for more Where the Shadows Meet eventually. This is typically a bi-weekly process of a game, but sometimes it goes a little bit longer. But for the next time we come around, I'm very excited to bring it to you. So all of you have a good night. I love you all. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.